Hi everybody, in today's video we're going to be talking about centeredness of striking with the driver in particular. So we're going to go right back to basics. We're going to talk about tee height, ball position, swing plane, swing attack angle, and everything you need to know about how to strike this bad boy right in the center. Okay, so first of all, we're talking about tee height because I see so many different tee heights from all types of golfers, mainly because it's like a reaction to how you've hit previous shots. So golfers will often tee really, really low into the ground because they're scared of skying the ball up into the air, or they'll tee up very, very high because they're scared of topping it. So that is a definite cause for concern as to what's happening within your golf swing for you to have to do that with a tee. So for those that tee the ball up too low, or very, very low, because they hit the ball higher, what you're going to be doing with this type of tee height is you're going to be creating so much more backspin to get and you're going to create loads of height and lose a lot of distance. Golfers that tee the ball up, like I say, if I tee the ball up as a normal tee height for somebody that normally does this, you're going to sky the ball, and that's because you swing down into the ball. So you often sky it from the very crown of the driver head, and that's not because you've got too far under it, it's actually because you've got too down on it. So it's the opposite again of what a lot of people think. If I put this tee height to inverted commas normal height, and I swing up to the top, and if I move my body in towards a target and I hit down on the ball, almost like you would do with any other club, like a 7-iron or a wedge, what you'll see is the first point that gets to the golf ball there is actually the crown of the driver head. It's not the actual face of the driver, and that's why you would feel more comfortable teeing it up much, much lower. So we straight away need to make a difference to how we're going to affect the golf swing to stop that happening. First of all, we need to start learning how to hit up on the ball, because the centered part of the swing arc should be 2 or 3 inches behind the ball. So that as it comes into the golf ball, it's starting to work its way back up. The tee height we're looking to try and do is, I would say, the ball, half of the ball has got to be over the top of the driver. So we want a nice high tee. There it is, half of the ball over the top of the driver. Now I know a lot of golfers watching this are thinking, nope, 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 not worth destroying my driver for, and I completely agree. I would not say, if you've been going really low and you're hitting down on the ball and you're used to skying it, don't go straight to that tee height, because I don't want you to bill me for the beautiful crown of your driver head that's now got a massive scuff at the top of it. But we've got to work on trying to get to this stage. We've got to work on the golf swing, making sure that the swing arc is bottoming out a couple of inches before you get to the ball. So then as you get to this higher tee, you're starting to hit it up off that higher tee. So that is 100% the goal for there. Golfers that tee up a little bit too high, it's very, very rare. Very, very rarely see. They scare the hell out of me, because I'm just worried that you will go under the golf ball. But again, it could be for different reasons, because you hover the club, or it could be because you bottom out so early that you're on your way up a lot later to hit the ball. You'll generally launch the ball a little bit too high, but to be honest with you, I very, very rarely seen that problem. So the big one is the golfers that tee the ball up too low with the driver. Try and work on your swing arc. Try and work on the bottom of your golf swing to hit up into the ball. As I said before, this video is all about centeredness of strike. So the angle of attack into the golf ball is massively important, because if you hit the ball too low on the club face, you'll create lots and lots of backspin, and actually you will lose loads of distance. If you hit the ball too high on the club face, the ball will just pop straight up into the air and it won't go very far. It hasn't got much power behind it from the very top of the club to actually get much distance out of it. The sweet spot of your driver is just above the equator line and obviously in the center. I see a lot of sporadic shots around the club face where they've come off the heel and where they've come off the toe. Those types of strikes have generally come from swing path problems. So for example, I'm the same. The majority of my shots actually come slightly toe side of center, which, if you've got much knowledge on the golf swing and where you hit the driver head, that's not the worst place. That's kind of like the speed slot. You get a little bit of a running ball flight. Once the ball lands, it just shoots forward. It's not ideal. I'm not saying I'm trying to do that on purpose, because I'm absolutely not. But I'm into a relative routine of accepting that that's where it's coming from. But I do still try and hit the middle. It's just not very easy. Okay, shots like that one, that one's come off the heel. So straight away, the gear effects in the club head, anything that comes from the heel will generally move the ball from left to right. And in general, again, anything that comes from the toe will move the ball from right to left. One of the most common shots I see is low on the heel. So low on the heel, low on the face, as we've already talked about, creates lots and lots of backspin, which loses distance. Heel will also create a lot of spin and hit the ball from left to right. So those two together on one shot will lose you 30 to 50 yards depending on your swing speed. You've got to be really careful as to where you're hitting the driver head. Well, obviously we don't do it on purpose, but we need to try and fix it. So if you're a golfer that generally starts to swing a little bit more out to in, the first part of the club that wants to make contact with the golf ball is generally going to be the heel. As soon as the heel starts to work left, then the ball's going to spin from left to right. We're going to get a lot of slice spin. Also, if you catch it low on the face, as I've already said, you're going to hit a lot of extra spin, which is what we don't want. The reason why we tee the ball up higher and we use the angle of attack to hit up onto the golf ball is we're actually trying to reduce the backspin. So we get a more of a kind of a high launch with a low spin, and it creates a very penetrating ball flight because you don't have that spin to slow the ball down, like what you're trying to do on a wedge. Okay, so if you hit the ball a little bit too much from the heel, then what I'm going to try and get you to try and do is actually stand closer to the golf ball. Now that sounds wild. That sounds wild. And this is only purely based on some golfers that I've seen that stand a long way from the ball, swing up to the top, and the only way to go and get back down to that golf ball is to extend the club out here, and you're more on the outside. Because you're further away, you're inclined to have to reach, and by reaching you overreach and you get the heel. Whereas actually if I get you to stand a little bit closer, you're going to feel really cramped. Okay, what's the one thing you can do from a cramped position is you turn more, you turn your body to create more space. If you have more space to rotate on the way down, you know that you don't need to, you know that subconsciously you don't need to stretch for the golf ball because you already feel too close. So you start to feel like you're really close to the ball, turn, and then you get that, oh, that was good. Then you can get the middle of the face so much easier. Much more distance from the ball here. See my arms working kind of outside of my head. As I get to the top, my body won't let me go any further than this, so I will naturally start to stand up. Then on the downswing, the only way you're going to get back to that ball is by going into posture and stretching back for the ball. And there you have it, you're back on towards the heel of the club. So get yourself in closer, ball position on the inside of the lead heel, and stand a lot more upright. Your hands, as a general rule of thumb, are going to be under your chin, so not quite under your shoulders, just pushed away from the shoulders and under the chin. And then when you get into this position, you're going to feel cramped, you're going to feel stuck. So you're going to turn more, you're going to get that trail hip, get that really rotating, get it out of the way. And as you start to work back downwards, everything's a lot more compact and there's got more chance of hitting the center of the face. And even from there, challenge yourself to hit the toe. Little games like this where you know if you hit lots of heel shots, try and figure out how to hit the toe. And it's generally the opposite of what you think. Because I know a lot of golfers, if they hit the heel, they will think they're stood too close to the ball, so they'll stand further away. Stand further away, you'll definitely hit the heel, okay? Crazy how the brain works. Now in the golf swing, there's many ways to hit all different types of faces. I've just spoke there briefly about why we would hit the heel. Now, I often hit the heel as well. We use the whole face. Hey, we pay a lot of money for these things. Let's get our money's worth out of the full face, eh? Not ideal though, is it? Golfers that swing it too much from the inside can also hit the heel. So we've got to be aware of where we generally hit the face. Like I said before, I hit the face generally slightly toe side of center. So for me, when I'm coming back into the ball, I'm often just trying to feel that I'm extending my arms, and that's a great power move for me as well. Really feel like I'm extending the arms as I come into impact, so I know I've got maximum length in my arms and width. Like that. Jesus. FYI, I've just got out of bed. That doesn't happen normally. So I get the feeling like I'm extending my arms through the ball because I know that I'm generally slightly toe side of centre. If you don't know where you hit the ball on the club face, one of the feedbacks you often get is if you hit the toe, the club face will twist in your hands this way. If you hit the heel, the club face will twist in your hands the other way. The initial feedback is often, oh, I let go of the club at impact. You didn't. You absolutely did not let go of the club at impact. Nobody has ever let go of the club at impact, just like no one's ever lifted their head. But please don't get me started on that conversation. The feeling that you've dropped the club through impact or you've let go of it is the face being twisted by basically a golf ball coming through at full speed and the weak part of the face being twisted over. So the toe part in particular gets twisted, or if you hit the heel, the toe will turn in. So that's great feedback. You know that you feel like you've let go of the club face. You know you hit it from the toe or the heel. You now need to figure out which way the grip twisted in your hands to understand whether you hit heel or toe. Then what you need to try and do is try and figure out what's your swing path. Do you tend to be in to out, or do you tend to be out to in? What do you look like at setup? I know there's a lot of diagnosis that goes into this, but it's a lot better to kind of take a step back and try and figure out a few of these points, because you're going to make your golf swing a ton better. You start down with the tee height. Do you generally tee it too low? Do you hit the heel? Do you stand too far away? Is your swing path generally out to in or in to out? Those 4 questions and answers are going to help you understand a little bit more about how the golf swing works, how your golf swing works, and how you can improve the centeredness of strike. And then we can all work together to be better at golf. Guys, if you are struggling with your golf swing, you're not really sure which way to turn. I know YouTube is just full of golf tips, and they are not going to be absolutely directed at you, the viewer watching. They're directed at the general golfing community. So some tips that work for you won't work for others, and vice versa. So if you are struggling with tips and you want me to have a look at your golf swing, please just find me on the Skillest app. The details are in the description below. There's an offer on at the moment for one-off golf lesson, and I'll give you all the information about your golf swing that you need. So if you feel like you need that, drop me a message and let's get stuck into your game. But guys, thank you very much for watching. It's always a pleasure. If you're brand new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. Also hit the bell for notifications. We've got videos coming out 3 times a week. We are busy, busy, busy. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you again very, very soon.